One of the fastest ways to kill your momentum is to overplan it to death. I know this because I've been doing it for months. A few months ago, I was filming a training webinar for BCFB's Growth Hub, teaching founders how to build their brands and scale through content. As I was watching it back, doing some revisions and editing, I couldn't help but laugh at myself. Here I was confidently telling people to just start, stop waiting for the perfect plan, stop overthinking the strategy. Yet I've spent months doing exactly that with my own personal brand. Kind of a facepalm moment. I kept trying to map out the perfect strategy before I'd even post anything. I wanted every post, every topic, every theme to make perfect sense before I even hit record. The irony, all of my experience in business has taught me the opposite. Start first, refine second. Every great thing I've been a part of in my life, my businesses, the startups I've helped, the teams I've led, none of them started perfect, but they started. And starting is what made them great. The other side to my personal brand is that I build brands for a living. And oftentimes the last thing I feel like putting effort into is my own personal brand. But that's enough excuses for now. Here's the simple truth that I've been reminding myself of. You don't build momentum by thinking. You build it by moving. There's actually a term for this type of kind of thinking when you get stuck. It's called analysis paralysis. This is when you overanalyze your options for so long that you just freeze and actually end up doing nothing. Or you just keep analyzing, hoping to find this perfect plan, constantly revising, but never stepping forward into the action. I've seen this in business owners, I've seen this in different creatives, in people's personal lives, and most recently I've noticed it coming up in my own life. So here's the simple framework I've been using to move forward each days. Action first, alignment second. Sometimes we wait for clarity like it's almost a prerequisite for momentum. But most of the time, clarity tends to show up after you've taken that first step. I used to think I needed a perfect plan before I could begin. Then I realized the perfect plan never comes. So now I start. I create, even if I don't fully know what I'm building yet. The right direction typically always reveals itself as I move. Start messy, start unclear, but start. Embrace the messy middle. There's usually this brutal space between the excitement of starting and the satisfaction of finishing, what I like to call the messy middle. That's where doubt starts to creep in, where your ideas don't look as good as they sounded in your head, where things feel clunky and awkward. But here's the truth. You can't skip this phase, as much as I would love to. The only way through it is to keep going, one foot in front of the other. Every time I've pushed through that messy middle section, I've come out clearer, sharper, and overall just more dialed in on my idea. So now when I feel this messy middle coming on, I welcome it because it means that I'm in fact in motion. Refine as you learn. Every piece of content you put out is a feedback loop, whether for yourself personally or maybe it's just for your personal brand and that content. Sometimes it performs, sometimes it flops, but it always teaches you something. You learn what resonates with your audience. You also learn what feels aligned with your voice. And I think honestly, you learn what you actually want to say. Because as you're saying it, you might realize, maybe that's not it. It's not about getting it perfect on the first try. It's about iterating in public, building your message as you go so others can actually tag along and see what you're working on. And honestly, that's where the confidence comes from, not pretending to have it all figured out, but showing up and evolving in real time consistently. Now, perfection is a moving target. If you wait until you arrive, you'll never actually leave the start line. Let me give you a real example from my own life, something that still fuels my confidence to this day. Roughly 6 years ago, me and two friends from university started a hemp company together called Commano CCS. I was 19 at the time, no formal training, no industry connections. I was going to school for psychology. We just had a huge vision of building a vertically integrated hemp company. We didn't know how to draft investor agreements. We didn't know how to hire a board or really what even a board was. We didn't know what the hell we were doing half the time, to be honest. But what we did do really well was starting. We started making calls. We started pitching. We started taking messy action, knowing full well we were probably going to fall on our faces. And We did more times than I'd like to recount. But through the mess, the uncertainty, and the constant refining, we found ourselves standing in front of real investors in a real boardroom. We built a board of directors. I figured out what that was. We secured funding, and what started as nothing more than just a scrappy dream between friends turned into a legitimate company, all because we started before we felt ready. That experience shaped me, and honestly, it still reminds me today. The real confidence is built through exercising the muscles of action and just starting, not before. You just have to take the first step and trust that you'll figure it out along the way. It's scary. I get it. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. So here's what I'm personally committing to. I'm building this personal brand in the open. I'm bringing you with me on my wins, my losses, and all my mistakes, the things that I'm learning. I'm using this personal brand as self accountability almost, but also as a way to share what I learn as I go and even just document my life. And I want to challenge you to do the same as well. Don't wait for the perfect plan. It's a trick. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start. Start documenting, start posting, start showing up for yourself in those areas of life. For me, this is a time in my life where I feel locked in. I'm finishing up my MBA program. I'm training for a 50K ultra marathon. I'm working to scale my marketing agency. There's lots that I have on the go, and this personal brand feels like the perfect opportunity for me to document what I'm working on and share it if anybody's interested. So please feel free to drop a comment below with what you're working on or maybe what you've been stuck on. Maybe you can use that as an accountability tool for yourself. Make that decision right now and decide what have you been putting off and what do you need to take that messy first step in to propel your momentum forward. So thanks if you made it through this full video. This is just my first messy step in the direction of building my personal brand. Uh, yeah, it's time to start.